Hi, I'm Sarah. This is a split tutorial. It's broken into 3 stages. This is the 3rd and final stage. So this is where we really kind of dig deep into our practice and towards our kind of full potentiality of this full splits, both backs and forwards. So either you've been already practicing stage 1 and 2 maybe a few times, and maybe you're joining us now straight off the back of those, or maybe you're just going to join us now. That's fine too. Ida will be demonstrating for me, and we'll start in downward facing dog. Press down into the fingers, grow long through the fingertips, and then draw the heels back. And then keeping both feet on the mat, just bend your right knee deeply and press your left heel firmly down to the mat. Just stretch through your hamstring. So maybe you've already practiced stage 1 and 2 directly before this and you feel really warmed up. Maybe you're just joining us now. Maybe you want to just add on a few stretches or pause here and just hold for a little bit longer just to really warm up through your hamstrings. Press your right heel down, bend your left knee, stretch into the other leg. Soften through your mouth and just be really mindful. I speak about this a lot, and it's probably hearing the same thing all the time, but it's really important not to clench your teeth, because that really has a direct relationship with your outer hips and what they're doing. And if you clench the mouth, then your hips are going to become taut. Then our hips are taut, then the hamstring, particularly at the origin, can become really vulnerable. Extend your left leg, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your right leg, 3-legged dog. Draw your right knee towards your right armpit, squeeze. Hold nice and tight, and then inhale, extend. Draw the right knee to the left armpit, twist through the waist, hold nice and tight, and then inhale, extend. Draw the knee towards your nose, round through the back body, look to where you want the foot to land, and then try to press the foot firmly down between the palms. Good. Again, you might want to use your hand to kind of drag the foot forwards. Kick your left heel back, press into your left hand, and then come onto the little toe sides of both of your feet, so like a grasshopper lunge. Take your right arm back and then drop your left hips kind of just an inch or 2 away from the mat. And then even here, micro bend your left elbow maybe. And then pull your left hip forwards towards your left wrist. So you're lengthening your ribs forwards towards the left side of your wrist joint. As you inhale, lift your hip, take your right arm over your right ear. And then exhale, drop the left hip, take your right arm back, stretch back, really flex this back heel and reach the fingertips. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale. Good, again, inhale, use the full circumference of your breath. Ride the full wave of that breath as you move through the action. Make this the last one. Inhale, extend, breathe through the side waist. Exhale, draw yourself all the way down. Drop down onto your left hip. Take your left arm forwards, drop down either onto your elbow or down onto the forearm. So you can even extend the left arm all the way down and bring your ear down. Good. Take your right hand to grab your right shin and then ground down through this foot, stack the knee, kick the left heel, and then bring your left heel so it's in line with your back hip. Kick the heel away, contract your hamstring, lift the leg. Good. Hold, lift it as high as you can all the way to the hip. Soften through your mouth, ground down through your right foot, soften the toes, pulse this bottom leg. We'll pulse for 50. So really make sure that you soften through your mouth and that you try to contract the whole of your hamstring, broaden the back of your kneecap, and then kick the heel away. Good. 40 more. Just allow your mouth to feel soft, your gaze, your drishti, your focus to remain soft. And you're trying to really find this extension and this contraction, particularly in your IT band, the outside of your leg, and maybe your adductor. So we're building this strength before we move into our splits. We don't just want to move through with our flexibility. We really want to have a really nice, strong body so that when we move with the quality, strength and flexibility. Good, move for 20. 15. 10. 9. 8. Even higher. 7. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the leg, take your right arm forwards, release your right leg back, come into cobra, press into your fingertips. Good. Press into the hands, squeeze your heels back, drop down onto your pelvis, and then feel that the hip bones draw forwards. Breathe into the back of the shoulders and then allow the shoulders to slightly roll back. So we breathe into the back of the shoulder blades. the neck is extended, the chin is perpendicular to the ground. So again, feel this visualization like you're holding a golf ball between your chin and your chest. There's this traction so the neck is long and the crown of the head reaches up. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Slide forwards to a plank position, shoulders over wrists. Option, drop your knees, otherwise bend elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Draw the heels down. As you inhale, extend your left leg, three-legged dog. Draw your left knee towards your left armpit, squeeze, hold, hover. Inhale, extend. Take that left knee to your right armpit, squeeze, round through the back. Inhale, extend. Last one. Bend the left knee, take it to the nose, round through your back body, look forwards to where you want the foot to land, and then press the shin all the way forward, step the foot between the hands. Look forwards, press into your right hand, and then press into the outer edges of both of your feet. Good, lift your left arm and then take the left arm back, squeeze, press down, inhale, lift the hip, take your arm over. Good, exhale, press back. And then continue, move with the full breath. So feel that the breath isn't kind of like the cherry on the top of the cake, that the breath is the cake, and that actually the action is the cherry. So the breath is what moves us, and then the action follows like a split second after that breath. So you really move it with integrity and with this kind of core action of just fully filling the body with this, you know, this cleansing breath. Good, last one, take the arm back, drop into your right hip, breathe, pull your right ribs forwards, and then reach your right arm down onto the mat. Take your left hand to grab your left shin, find some traction, pull the shin in, flex the back foot, make sure that it's in line with your back hip, contract, lift as high as you can, really lift. Soften your mouth and pulse. And again, you really want to extend the heel away from you. You're welcome to point the toes if that feels more comfortable and if it helps you engage the leg more. Otherwise, flexing will really help kind of extend the shin bone out of the joint of the ankle and engage the muscles around your kneecap. The higher you can lift, then the better for the leg, but kind of don't jar into your back just to get the leg higher. Keep the integrity of the spine. Good. 20. 15, 10, 9, even higher, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Release the left arm forwards, release the left leg back, come into cobra, keep the pelvis down, bend your elbows, soften through the jaw, extend through the crown of the head, breathe into the back body. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And then we'll just alleviate any tension from the lower back, from the spine, by coming through these kind of down dog waves. So round, articulate every vertebrae of your spine as you slide forwards to a plank position, seeing that you move like a wave. Breathe into the back body, bend your knees, lift your sit bones, downward dog, and then continue. And again, there's kind of no right or wrong way of doing this, just find this fluidity, this just joy of moving. Move with the breath and then try to breathe into any dark spots, particularly around your lower back or your hips that may have, you know, come into fruition as you stretch through your IT band. Good, make this the last one. And then we'll meet in downward dog. As you inhale, extend your right leg, three-legged dog. Draw your knee towards your nose. Step the foot between the hands. Then turn your right toes in slightly towards the left front corner of your mat. Come onto the heel of your left foot and bring the left toes up to the ceiling. Bring your hands either to the heart center. If it's really difficult to balance, just bring them down onto the mat. We're really not concerned with balancing within this sequence. We just want to stretch the adductors, the inner groins, the inner thighs away from one another. Keep the toes reaching up. Some of you might not be able to drop down onto that right ankle, particularly if you've got quite a, you know, a stiff Achilles heel. So just try to lean back and even maybe double fold your mat or bring a little pillow under the back heel, this right heel, and over time it will become more and more flexible and it will just come down to the mat. Good. Try not to use your hands if possible, otherwise use the fingertips. Bend into the left knee, come to the other side. Just move Skandasana over onto the left side. Again, find your focus, your breath. Maybe this side feels different from the other, and then just kind of acknowledge that. Each time you come into a new posture on a new side, just kind of mentally check it. How does this feel? They'll never feel exactly the same. Bend into the right knee and then come over to the other side. Use the control of your belly, of your abdomen, or your hands. Come down to sit on the bum. Keep the legs exactly as they are. And you'll take your left arm, this front arm, to grab your right shin. The foot still is down. Take your right arm over your right ear and then extend through the sideways. Soften through the jaw and lengthen all the way. And this right knee stays on top of the ankle, and keep pressing that knee away from you. It's tempting to let it just kind of collapse in, but you want to keep this extension like you're pressing something firmly away. And then stretch through the side of your waist. Feel that the crown of the head reaches towards the big toe. Press down into the leg, and then inhale, lift yourself up, and then bring this right leg into your left thigh. This leg stays as it is, so this outer left leg stays exactly as it is. Take your left hand to your right knee or your thigh, reach your right arm over the right ear. We move again into a side stretch, but maybe this feels a little bit different. For some people it might feel deeper, and for some people it actually doesn't feel as deep as the last one. So just again checking in what feels the most beneficial, what feels as though you can utilize the ribs and the intercostal muscles to their maximum capacity. And the more that we can breathe into this section and that we can alleviate any tension holding on to the tightness of the hips, the more we can get into our hip flexors, our psoas, and the more that we can start to stretch into our back of our hamstrings for our splits. Lift yourself up and then bring the left foot directly forwards in line with your hip. So your right foot is into the left thigh. Take a big inhale, extend the arms. And then exhale, fold yourself forwards. Good. Press the sit bones back. Press the flesh of your left thigh back. Lengthen the vertebrae of your spine. Soften through the neck. And then soften through the jaw. That right thigh rolls out. For some people, you know, it's not going to feel comfortable. Either is particularly flexible, and you know, obviously this looks really easy, but for some people it might feel as though the foot is just unmanageable and it's really far away, and that's fine. You can use a strap, or you just bend your left knee, or you just don't worry about grabbing the foot. Good. Gently lift yourself up. And then just turn yourself forwards to the front of your mat if you're not there already. Bend your left knee to meet the right, so the feet are together, the knees are apart. Open through the sides of the waist, take a big inhale, and then exhale, fold yourself forwards. Reach the sit bones back, and then press your own elbows into your thighs. So you use the strength of your own arms to kind of wedge the legs further and further open so that you can move deeper into the stretch. And then again, feel that the vertebrae of the mid-back reach forwards. Take a big breath, soften through the mat. And then look forwards, cross your shins. Step or hop back. Either move just straight to down dog, skip a vinyasa, otherwise bend elbows. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your left leg, three-legged dog. Draw your knee to the nose. Step the foot between the hands, look forwards. Turn your left toes towards the right front corner of your mat. Come to the heel of the back foot. Again, thumbs to sternum. This just does not feel, you know, available to you. The hands are just down on the mat. You just kind of use the hands to balance yourself. It's really not necessary to just be balancing here without the palms. Take a big breath. And then bend into your right knee, come over to the other side. Good, use the strength of your belly, back over to the left. And then use the strength of the belly to drop the sit bones all the way down. Good. Shuffle yourself back onto your mat if that feels more comfortable. Take your right hand to your left shin. Take your left arm over your left ear. And then again, keep this left foot grounded, keep this left knee on the ankle and then rolling out. So see that the knee and the thigh roll out together, away from the hip. Stretch all the way through the side of the waist, lengthen through the nape of your neck, kick your right heel away. Again, the body's asymmetric. One side you might feel like, this is my really good side, or you try to let go of this notion of good and bad side. They're just different sides. It's different muscles, different poses, and try to kind of get out of this mindset that we put on everything, like labeling it good or bad. It just is what it is. Bring the left foot into your right thigh, lift yourself up. And then take your right hand to your left shin. See if you can find some traction as you twist, and then bring your left arm over your left ear, extend through the side. Then see if you can even, maybe over time, squeeze this right elbow and right shoulder head in. You're wrapping your right lung underneath your left. As you inhale, puff up through the lungs, broaden through the side body. You become broad as you do long. And then as you exhale, feel as though everything kind of draws in. It sucks in, this suction towards the mid-axis of your back. Reach yourself up, take your right leg directly forwards. Left foot into right thigh. Bring the flesh of that right thigh back. Again, kick the right heel slightly back, and then take a big inhale, extend your arms. And then exhale, slide yourself forwards. Lengthen through the sides of your waist, good. And then again, if this is just unavailable, if the foot feels really far away, then you either are bending your knee or you're using a strap. And then feel this traction as you reach the crown of the head firmly away from your sit bones. Feel that the back of your right kneecap is pulling down to the mat over time. And look forwards. Release your arms. Bring your right shin stacked on top of your left. So double pigeon. Some of you double pigeon just will not feel comfortable, not because of, the inflexibility of your hips, just because of the alignment of your actual pelvis. It's just not available. For those of you that don't feel comfortable, you might instead just stack your ankle under your knee. So it would be this top ankle instead would come underneath the knee, coming into good, and it would become kind of this square through the knees. Otherwise, if this does feel comfortable, you can come back into double pigeon. Good. Take your left arm to the left side. Bend the left elbow. Reach your right arm over your right ear. Soften into the side waist. And then keep this right hip down. It's really tempting to lift it so you can move deeper, but instead feel that this right thigh is drawing back to the right side of the room, and that the flesh of the thigh rolls out. Soften through the jaw, extend through the side waist. And look down at your left hand. Maybe heel toe your left hand just 2 inches to the left. And then bring your right forearm next to your left. Don't worry if the forearm doesn't come down. For some people it might feel like it's really far away. Just the more we practice, the deeper you'll go. Every time you come back, you approach this as a brand new class each time you come back, and you'll be really surprised how quickly the body responds. Good, take one more big breath. And then walk yourself to the center, come onto the pads of the fingers. Take a big breath, open the arms. Lift them all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, fold yourself forwards. Good, chin slightly to chest, crown of the head long. Again, find this traction as you press your sit bones, the skin of your lower back behind you, and then walk the fingertips. Grow the fingers long away from the palms. Sides of the waist are long, the mouth is soft. Allow yourself just to melt down into your mat here. And if you ever have extra time, you're always welcome to just press pause here, like set a timer of your phone. You can do like 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. The longer you're in it, the more that you'll stretch, the better and better it is. Bring yourself up by the center. And then change the cross of the legs, either coming into kind of this square shape with the ankles under the knees, or double pigeon. Right hand to the right side, soften your right shoulder, left arm over left ear, side stretch. And those of you that are a little more flexible might be able to bring that right forearm down to the mat. Keep the left sit bone rolling down. Wrap your right lung underneath your left, so you're kind of telescoping your rib cage over towards the left front corner of your mat. Look down at your right hand, heel toe the hand 2 inches to the right. Drop down onto the left forearm. And again, don't worry if the elbows feel like they're a mile away from the mat. If you're just on the hands with the arms straight, that's fine. But just find that kind of intuitive rock from side to side and kind of edge into it. Where are the edges? Where are the parameters of this posture, and where can I move into? Take a few more breaths. And then with the softness of the mouth, the sit bones grounded, come via the center, release the arms wide. Take a big breath, raise the arms up. And then as you exhale, fold yourself forward. Reach your arms forward, keep the sit bones heavy, keep the skin of the back body pulling back, and then the crown of the head reaching forwards. And then feel that almost energetically your outer thighs are pulsating and pulling away. Good, lift yourself up, look forwards, and then open your legs wide to a wide leg straddle. Don't open them into your very deepest variation. You've got lots of time to come through this. Just open it to a place that feels good. Ground down through your sit bones. Take your right hand behind you. Take a big breath. Lift your hips and your left arm. Lift up through the side. Good. Maybe your feet can even come down. Drop down through the sit bones. Left arm behind you. Inhale, lift up. Just get the blood flowing again. Good. And then continue from side to side. Right hand down. Left arm up. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Again. Just move from side to side and just move with your own breath. So don't worry about keeping in time with me or with Ida. Move in a way that feels really authentic to your own practice. And everyone's going to look a little bit different. Don't worry if your feet don't come down or your hips don't lift very high. Just feel that you can open and move through your hips. Good. Make this the last one. Come back to the center. And then come to sit on the bum, reach the legs away, take the hands either side of your right leg, look forwards, contract your hamstrings, pull up through the ball of the foot. You might even want to floint. So floint is this sensation of flexing the ball of the foot but then pointing the toes. Lift up through the ball of the foot, lift the whole right leg, and then pulse up and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Over to the left side. Contract, lift up, pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center. Good. Take a big breath, lift up through the chest, and then exhale. Either keep your hands behind you, behind your sit bones, and stay here. Maybe bring your hands forward. Otherwise, you're welcome to either come down onto your forearms or maybe even take your hands out to grab your feet, whatever feels the most comfortable. Wherever you are, allow the flesh of your thighs to roll away from you, and then the skin of your belly to reach forwards. So the more that you can reach your crown of your head and your belly and your back out of your pelvis, the deeper the stretch. So you send your bum back, the traction draws back, and then the crown of the head reaches forwards. Good. Take a couple of more breaths here. Maybe kick your heels firmly away from you. For those of you that don't feel comfortable coming down, remember you can just stay with your hands behind you. You can sit on a brick to elevate your pelvis slightly, and you can bend your knees, just finding kind of any way that feels the most comfortable, what is the most appropriate. Good. Look forwards, press into your hands. And then to use your hands to squeeze the legs together and just squeeze yourself in a little ball here at the front of your mat. So squeeze the legs together, stay here. And then just cross your shins and come into a tabletop position just here on your mat, your hands and your knees. Press down into the palms, lengthen the belly. So try to bring the skin of your navel and your pelvic bone up towards the chest. Take your right leg out to the right side. Keep it in line with the hip. Good. Try not to collapse into the left hip and then breathe into the shoulders. Then from here, rotate inner and outer leg, out and in. Heel, toe, and then feel that you're rotating from the actual joint of your hip. Keep the leg contracted. Try not to collapse into the right or the left. 5, 4, move with the control. 3, 2, 1. Lift the leg in line with your hip. Good. And then try not to collapse into the left side. Lift your left hip, kick the right heel away, lengthen through the armpit. Hold, take a big breath, and then pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release the leg, and then walk your hands over to the right side. Good. Good. Soften through the mouth. And then continue to allow the bum to feel long as you pull back. Reach through the shoulders. And then come back, pressing into your hands, come to tabletop position. Good. Keep the knees and the hips and just move through cat-cow. Inhale, look forwards, broaden the back, and then exhale round. So just move back and forth through your spine just to kind of alleviate through the spine. And then come back to a neutral position. Press into your hands, activate the muscles around your armpits, and then take your left leg out to the left side. Keep it in line with the hip. Good. Don't collapse into the right hip. And then we'll move internally rotating and externally rotating just through the joint of the hip. Heel, then toe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep pressing the mat away. 3. Mouth is relaxed. 2, 1. Lift the leg in line with your hip. Do not collapse into the right side. Press equally into left hand as well as right. Breathe into the scapula. Good. Just keep squeezing. Lift a little bit higher and then pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg comes over and down. Heel toe your hands to meet the foot. Come into half splits. And again, you can be fairly intuitive. If there feels as though there's a better variation, if you really want to walk the hands all the way to the left or the right or forwards, just kind of exploring all those parameters of your practice and like what feels the best. Where is the best stretch for me here now? Bring your hands forwards, bring your left knee next to your right. Just take a breath in child's pose. And then just tuck your toes and gently press into your hands and make your way just here in the middle of your mat into a forward fold. Good. And allow everything to feel heavy. Take your hands to your waist, come up to stand. And then just step your legs nice and wide into a wide leg straddle. Heels slightly out, toes slightly in. Take a big breath, lift up through the chest, and then as you exhale, fold all the way forwards. Press into your hands, look forwards, press your chest forwards out of your pelvis, and then heel toe your feet, slide them away. Keep the outer edges of your feet down. So you're just taking yourself wider and wider into your straddle. And then when you come to your edge, kind of your maximum manageable position, hold. Lengthen the crown of the head forwards from the sit bones. Good. For 5, keep pressing into the outer edges of your feet to the best of your ability. 4, shin bones lift up out of ankle joint. 3, tailbone long. 2, 1. Press back into your hands. Heel toe your feet together. Good. Using the strength of your thighs. Good. And then bring the legs together. Then just allow yourself to feel nice and heavy, and then just step yourself to the front of your mat. Good. Inhale, look forwards, extend. Exhale, refold. Option, just step back to down dog or move through a vinyasa. Either knees down or maybe just bend elbows. Good. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Final lap. Inhale, extend your right leg, 3-legged dog. Draw your knee to the nose, round through the back body, squeeze, hover. Flex the foot, step the foot between your hands. Kick your left heel firmly back, roll the flesh of the thigh back. Good, lengthen through the mid-body. And then drop your left knee, drop your left toes. Straighten your right leg, come to half splits. Flex the right heel away from you. So for those of you with really sensitive knees, you might want to double fold the mat under your left knee. And those of you that don't feel that maybe flexible in that right hamstring yet and it doesn't feel comfortable to fully extend it, bring your hands onto bricks or bend your right knee. And as you inhale, extend through the shoulders, lift through the chest, so just the same as you did earlier in cat-cow, but now with your front leg extended. And as you exhale, good, move through cat, really exaggerate. Inhale, broaden, extend the sternum, shoulder heads roll back. Exhale, posterior tilt, pull the belly in. Then just continue a couple more in your own breath. Good, and then come back to a neutral spine. Take both hands to the outside of your right foot. Walk your hands away, press your right hip back to the left back corner, and then extend. Good. And then we really want to get into the outer edge of this hip and this IT band. So the more you can press your right hip towards the left back corner of your mat, and the hands towards the front right corner of your mat and find this traction, the deeper the stretch. We really want to activate this whole outer edge of that right thigh. So we concentrate so much just sometimes on the back of the hamstring, we forget about this full circumference, like this whole three-dimensional kind of aspect of our leg. Bend the front knee. Take the hands either side of your front foot. Take a breath. Now, some of you are going to want to stay here with the front leg straight. Those of you that want to move a little bit deeper, tuck your back toe, and then extend your heel back, lift the knee. And then heel toe that left leg back. Begin to straighten your right leg and then just explore if there's any more space as you slide your right leg forwards towards your splits. Don't just move all the way in and don't move quickly. Don't just slide into something or jar into something. Move as slowly as necessary. Slide that flesh of that left hip forwards, the left thigh forwards, the same as when you were in those lunges. So the flesh of the left thigh is rolling back and the flesh of the right thigh is drawing back behind you. Press down into the left toe and then press down into these left toes, and even though the knee's down, activate the shin, the ankle and the thigh. Some of you might feel comfortable enough to bring your thumbs to the sternum, hands at heart center. For some of you, maybe this is too much and you just already come out. Release your hands, tuck the back toes, and then slide yourself back, downward facing dog. And then again, slide forwards to a plank position. Shoulders over wrist, wave through, bend your knees, bring the bum up. Just move 3 times like this, just to alleviate any tension from the spine. Good, make this the last one. We'll meet in downward dog. And then we'll extend the left leg long. Draw the knee to the nose. Step the foot between the hands. Kick your back heel back. Drop your back knee, drop your back toes. Straighten the left leg, flex the left foot, half splits. Kick the heel away, and then bring the toes up. And then again, some of you maybe have your hands on bricks, maybe have your left knee bent. It really doesn't matter about how straight the leg is, because you're not trying to bring yourself down to the leg, you're trying to bring yourself forwards out of the pelvis. And again, you want this sensation that this flesh of this right thigh is rolling forwards and the flesh of the left thigh is rolling back, so we try and square through the pelvis. And then move through cat-cow as if you were at the, on all fours, but do it here with the legs straight. So as you round, anterior tilt, round through the kind of those Christmas tree muscles that are within your back ribs, the posterior chain muscles. Each time you inhale, extend and broaden through your collarbones. Try and exaggerate through the movements and kind of explore again all the corners of possibility within your practice. And then when you feel comfortable, come back to a neutral position. Take both hands outside of your left shin. Walk the hands towards the front left corner of your mat. Press your left hip back towards the right back corner. So we're really finding this this exaggeration in the length. Soften through your mouth, extend through the crown of the head, really pull up through the left thigh. Take a couple of more big breaths here, and if at any point this becomes too much, again you just bend the knee. So never suffer or push yourself through something that doesn't feel comfortable. Acknowledging the difference between discomfort. Discomfort sometimes is going to be present within our practice. It's how we grow, it's how we move forwards, but never pushing past that threshold into pain. Pain is the body's way of saying that's enough, it's too much. Bend your front knee, take your hands either side of your left foot. Decide whether you want to stay here, otherwise maybe you want to tuck your back toes, lift the back knee, slide the right leg back, begin to straighten your left leg. Over time, slowly, sliding the left leg forwards and the right leg back, maybe coming down into your splits. Soften through your mouth, press into your fingers. And then some of you might want to even bring your thumbs to the sternum just to explore those kind of edges of your balance. The flesh of this right thigh still rolls forwards and your right hip bone still draws forwards. Press down into the right toes and feel this lift of the shin. And then release your hands. Make your way back, downward facing dog. And then gently drop down onto your knees, come to child's pose. Press the sit bones to the heels and then just extend and breathe into the whole full circumference of your trunk, and then with an open mouth, let it all go. Good. And then just look forwards, cross your shins, make your way down onto your back. Bring the feet under the knees, knees are bent. And then just press into your feet, inhale, lift up, roll up through your spine. Maybe take your hands underneath you, interlace 10 fingers. Lengthen the nape of your neck so your chin comes slightly to your chest and the crown of the head reaches forwards. So there's almost a space between your mat and your neck. Roll your triceps in, press down into your arms, roll the arms inwards. Press down into your heels and then kick the heels back so there's an activation in your quads. Release your arms, round through your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, release. Open the arms to the side, bend your elbows like cactus arms. Lift your knees on top of your hips. Soften your mouth, drop your knees from right to left. Just one breath, window screen wiper. Just bring them up and over. Again, just trying to find any pockets of space that might be available there from the pelvis. Then when you're ready, drop the knees over to the right, look over your left arm. You can even take your left hand to the top of your left thigh. Allow everything to feel heavy. With a soft mouth, with a soft gaze, release your right arm, bring your knees through the center, drop them over to the left. Look over the right arm, allow the body to feel heavy. Just fully melt down into the mat. Then coming to the center, bring the knees to the chest, take your forearms around your shins, bring your forehead to the knees and give yourself a big squeeze. Take as much time as you need. Maybe you want to fully release into a full Savasana, arms and legs wide. Maybe you want to come still with the feet together, knees apart. Otherwise, just allowing everything to feel heavy. Take as much time as you need. Whenever you're ready, you can just bring yourself up into a seated position. Bring the palms onto the knees. Just take a couple of breaths. Just allow everything just to melt down. Bring your chin to the chest, allow it to feel heavy, allow the arms to feel heavy. So thanks for coming and practicing hopefully all 3 parts of this splits workshop. Thanks for Ida for being the most beautiful demonstrator. Thank you. And hopefully we'll have lots of fun things to come soon.